Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engineers Build Along. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a version 2 of this. Now, we're not going to be remodeling it completely, but we are going to be making some subtle changes to see what we can do. Now, if you've been watching my my Let's Play episode, you'll know that this got absolutely annihilated, and primarily what happened was this whole front area got destroyed as people were trying to shoot people by by the other ships trying to shoot through and kill my cryopods, my med bay, and everything else. So what I want to do, if we go inside, is I want to see if we can beef up this internal infrastructure here, so we have some welders that, for example, off of this conveyor, maybe we stick a welder that can weld this, because on the other side of this is going to be a gun turret, and likewise on the other side of here there's going to be a gun turret. So I'm going to look at how can we get some welders in here to start healing this bit of the ship. Like, we've got another one here, so maybe we have one coming up here, maybe we have one coming across here. And just some little changes like that might be able to protect this core infrastructure a little bit more and stop things like this getting destroyed. We might also look at replacing some of these plates with heavy armor so that the core stuff here does not get shot as easily. Alright, welcome back. So I think the first thing we want to look at is how can we add a bit more protection to this hydrogen tank. Now, if we look at our welders, I believe it's only got connections on two sides. So having them in line is actually not a bad thing. So we could, for example, take this out, replace this with a conveyor. For example, I could have that there. And if we go back to our welder, which I think is on a different one. Yep. Now, this has connectors. Let's see if I can do this. It has on the sides, but it also has it on the back. So I'll put that down there. So I can have one, for example, here, and that is fine. And I can also have one like that. So, for example, if I see that welder there, it will weld all the blocks around here and make sure that stays up. So I think that is not a bad place to have one. And now, obviously, I want some speed, so I might as well put two in here. So that's like a little change we can do here. Let's make the same change on this side as we're going. And see if we can get a few more around here. Because I think having a couple of welders is not going to be a bad thing. And I don't know how many extra welders I want to put in. Because it will help having a few more. Like here, I would like another one. But I'm fairly certain that there's a gun turret on top of that. And that's going to cause me a problem. So I could take this out. And rotate that around. And we've got quite a bit of welding power now in this little area of the ship. We'll do the same on this side. I think that's a perfectly reasonable change. Okay. So that gives me quite a bit of welding power there. But whatever's above this, which is the gun turret I got in the middle of the ship, should have a slightly better time. Now, that conveyor junction there, I believe, yeah, that is not going to be that useful to us. So, something we could do here, actually, maybe on these is, we've got the ability, if I put this welder in here, I could literally just have this pointing backwards. Now, it's going to be a little bit weird walking underneath it like that, but at the same time, it will work. And oh, I can't place that because of those blocks. I could take those blocks off. I have one there directly above, but I don't think I want to do that. So that will keep this area a bit more welded. And then likewise, we could put some here that points towards that and do the same on this side. And that seems a little incestuous, but at the same time, it gives me the opportunity to get yet another one in here, either side of these lights. I quite like that. That's going to make this quite a good area for repairing. Now, this looks a bit silly, and I get it. It's not ideal. But at the same time, being able to keep this welded, and bear in mind that, oh, that will kill me, won't it? That's something I need to bear in mind. These things could absolutely kill me. So I'm going to place a few more, and I'll bring you back in a second. All right, welcome back. So let's start here. Now, I've added 3 across here, and their job is to weld up this welder and keep basically this conveyor system working, because this is where we've got all our cargo and everything else. So having a little bit more protection around here is good. I could add another one in up here pointing this way, but I haven't. I've just gone for 2 like I did here and that one there. And we've got the same setup on this side, I believe. 2 there and 1 there. So that gives us quite a bit of protection now on this middle bit. I've got that one facing forward and that one. So that again is keeping this area, my cryopod and my med bay, welded. That's quite important to me so I can respawn. So one thing I might want to consider is how important these blocks are and replacing some of these with heavy armor. So where I've got these black strips, the black strips and the grey between them, I could probably replace that with heavy armor, probably quite a way back. I'm not sure how far back this would be, but that's how far I'm thinking I could add it in. So I'm going to start just by plucking away at this bit here, and I want to take a vertical slice if I can. I'm going to try and leave the detail and only take the square blocks if I can. I think that will help us basically see where we want to work. Right, I just want to show you what I've done with these blocks. So I stripped this whole area back, and you'll see these have a slightly different pattern on them, and that's just because they're heavy armor blocks. So all of these ones now are heavy, and I've also put heavy armor blocks here because this is where my cryopod and my med bay is. My hydrogen tank is here, and you can't see it, but if you look here, these are all heavy armor blocks as well. So what I've come out to do now is just to pick up this black color and make sure that we are painting these blocks nicely black to match the stripe we had before, and that should be good. At least this way it will look like it kind of did before. But I think that isn't too bad from the outside. Let's drop these gun turrets on. One more thing we can look at is we could look at adding decoy blocks on the bits of the ship that are just not, how do I say this without being too harsh, they're not important. Like these arms, they're not important. Like, we don't need them. The only problem I have with these arms, just grab this color quickly, is that we need it because of the conveyor. So at some point, if I can find a bit that is 4 blocks wide or deep, like in here, we could probably put a conveyor, not conveyor, we could probably put a decoy in there and then use that decoy to get some of the fire focused on it. That I don't think is a bad thing to do. So I'm going to have a bit of an explore around here and see if I can find a spot where I can drop a decoy block in, and then if we can, we'll armor that up. It looks like this is a good candidate if I can get one in there. Right, so I think I found a good spot. So we come under here and see if I can find it from the inside. We've got these engines right here, and if I just hug this, I think I can get up here. Can. Cool. So where I've got this bit here, this is underneath that Gatling turret. So we've got a couple of things we can do here. One, I can hide a decoy block somewhere in here. And 2, because I've got the conveyor, I should in theory be able to keep it welded. So I don't want to go too far that way. But so let's just drop that block back on there. I'm pretty sure it's a square one. Not 100% sure, but pretty sure. Let's go double check, because that's going to look silly if I was wrong. No, it was a square one. Actually, that's a good point. I could add another thruster in there. That might help with something else. But actually, this is an easier way to get into it. So we can put something in here. Now, where we put it, I don't know. Let me just grab a decoy for starters, which is this one, I believe. It is. Now, this is going to get absolutely annihilated in the sense that things are going to aim for it. Now, it might cause this whole arm to fall off. Now, that is 2 blocks away from here. So if I find my welder again, which is here, a lot of here's, should, in theory, be able to drop this welder right in there, like that. And we can just see, thanks to the ghosting, that that will connect up. So that welder should keep that decoy nicely welded. I could also put it there, couldn't I? Could I do that? We see, because if I can get it closer, I will feel happier about it. There we go. So we can put that decoy right there. Now that's underneath that gun turret. So what I want to do as well is I think we want to go back outside, tear away the gun turret and the blocks around it, and replace these ones with heavy as well. So these are luckily all just square blocks. Yeah, cool. What we'll do is we'll replace these ones as well with the heavy armor blocks, and that gives that decoy just a little bit more protection, and it's not going to cause us too much of a problem. And if we can find the gun turret again, just drop that back on there. So that's a nice way to add a decoy there. I mean, things might shoot at the engines, it might cause problems, but I'd rather they blow the engines up than I lose the whole ship. So let's do the same thing here quickly. So that should help keep the fire and the focus away from our main front of the ship, where we've got, you know, I don't want to say the important things, but it's not in this area here where we'll have jump drives and other things. So I'm going to jump inside now. You're not using a jump drive. I'm going to get inside now, and we'll have a look at the jump drive location and shield location and see if we can get that sorted out. All right, see you in a sec. All right, welcome back. So I'm just going to perch myself here. I kind of want to have the jump drive in this area here. Now I think, yes, it does. So I can get 2 jump drives. I can. Oh, that is quite a hefty thing. And I can get some in here. Now I kind of don't know how many I can get in here. I'm guessing 1. I can get 1. Got 1's probably enough. So that gives me 3 jump drives. That gives me a limited jump distance, but it's not too bad. So if I was to have a control table, I would want to have it probably here instead of this. And that's going to block the bed, I think. So let's see how this looks. Okay, we can have it that way. I mean, where else could we put it? We could just put it up against the wall as well, couldn't we? Like just there, out of the way. Now, have I got a good location for this? Because this is the most important bit of my ship. Is there anything below there? We could change this bit of the ship up as well, actually. We just turn this around. This is a half block. If I could drop that there. Yeah. So what I'm thinking now is, if that's where it's got to go, let's change these to half blocks. And I wasn't going to do this, but I think this is an exception that I'm willing to live with. Makes that line there a little less obtrusive, and we should end up with a shield. Now if I fly away, I can't see it. Oh, there it is. Yeah, we have a shield. Does that cover the whole ship? It does. It's a funny shape, but then the ship's a funny shape. So I think that isn't bad. I mean, it's also red. I don't think we like things that are red. Right, so I'm going to have a quick look at that and see what else is going on. Alright, welcome back. So, what I've done now, come over here, I filled that hole up with batteries, because with these jump drives, and with the shield generator, I'm going to need some more battery power. So I'm just actually thinking now, can I squeeze some more batteries in? Alternatively, can I squeeze a proper reactor in? If I get a full-size reactor in, maybe here, that would, one, it would look very cool. But two, it would also give us the power requirements that we need. So we can see we got, cool. So I can literally drop that in there. Look at that. Oh, it makes it look a lot more awesome. For starters, now I don't have a bucket ton of uranium, but that and the extra batteries should be more than enough to power things. I was also playing around a little bit with the shields, and I'll just show you what I realized. So if I grab the shield controller, there is this fortify mode, and from what I can tell, and I haven't done any research on this mod, so if you do know, please give me answers below. So if you look at my HUD on the bottom left, I've got the shield, and it's doing stuff. It's a very lovely shield color now. I'm not actually sure what that means, but if I go to fortify, then it will make the shield bigger. And what I also noticed, maybe this should be a video in itself. If you look at my shield HP, if I set the recharge rate super low, so it's using not much, it takes, what is that, 7.5 minutes, 7 minutes 20 seconds to recharge. But look how much damage it can absorb. So this is more like a tank at this stage. It can take a lot of damage. Shields last quite a while. Now, if I put it this end, there is not much damage it can take. But if I have masses and masses of generation of power, like I have a bucket ton of uranium, for example, then I can just keep forcing this to be fully charged again and again and again. I'm not sure how overheating and everything else works, but safe bet, somewhere in the middle. That's my assumption right now. So that's one thing. The other thing I noticed was where is it? These two. So if you can see behind, I can make it just round. Yeah, I don't like that. It's a different shape, and that's about it. Now I like it being the shape of my ship. The other one is fortify, which you can see it just makes a massive shield. So it must push the limit of the shield generator to give you basically like a safe area around your ship. So if I wanted to protect other ships, then I'm assuming that's what that's for. So I need to do some reading on that. But for now, I don't think we want to touch it. Shield fit again, I'm guessing I can make this smaller. And it'll probably not cover my whole ship now. So if we spin around, you can see like the rear of the ship is not covered. The guns are sticking out a little bit. And that, I would say, is not okay. So if we come back to here and find the fit, that was down to 0. Obviously we push up to 24, massive area. We don't need that. So I'm just going to drop this down to probably 8, I think. And that gives us plenty of cover then around everything we care about, including the landing gear and the guns on top. I think this is going to be a good point to end the episode. We've got our reactor in place. We've got everything else here. I think we'll save the testing until next episode. And if you can give me any feedback on the shield generator and things I'm doing wrong, that would be much appreciated. So we'll do the testing. We'll do a bit of destructive testing to make sure that the armor works without the shield as well. Because when I'm building this, I wanted to make sure that this area here where I've got the welders, it should kind of work as it is without having the shield generator. And the reason for that is I can't build the shield generator until I get to Mars. So having the armor repair is like a version 1 of armor, and then the shield is version 2. So we will do some destructive testing next week. But in the meantime, again, if anyone can see or can tell me anything I've done wrong, much appreciated. I'm hoping the heavy armor up here actually does help. because if it doesn't, there's going to be problems. But I think just those little changes will make the restoration of this a lot safer, so that we can do it just the once. And then hopefully this can become our ship for flying around the universe. We'll see how it goes. I mean, one crazy idea is that this becomes the shuttle. I'm using air quotes. Hopefully you can see them. And if this is the shuttle, then how big would our other ship be? I mean, that would be massive. I kind of like the idea of building a ship that's big enough that this can dock inside it. If you're interested in seeing that, let me know in the comments, and we'll work out how we do it at some point, maybe when we get towards the end of the Let's Play. So with that all said and done, I'm going to weld up these blocks because apparently I took this blueprint in my survival world after having taken a load of damage. So it's going to take a while, I think, to get this looking good. But anyway, but with that all said and done, fly safe, and I'll see you in the next one.